What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video. Thanks for tuning in to this one. If you're new to my channel, I'm a full-time eBay reseller and I make videos like this on YouTube to help you succeed in your online business, whether that's eBay, Poshmark, Mercari, Facebook Marketplace, whatever it is. Now I specialize on eBay, but a lot of the things that I teach can be used on other platforms. I create videos with the whole intent of helping others out. And this is another one of those videos where I show you exactly the items that I sold this month for great profit. So stick around because I'm going to be getting into that. But first of all, take a look at this. What do you guys think of my shelf back here? I've got some brand new shelves up featuring some items that I'm actually selling right now. And if you see something back there and you're interested in purchasing, let me know. I'll make you a good deal and get it out to you. Who knows, maybe one of you out there are looking for a tall, shaggy Yeti plush for your collection. Just saying. Well, it is a cold week here in Fayetteville, Arkansas. We got about 9 inches of snow over this past week, and the temperature 2 nights ago got down to negative 13 degrees, which is the coldest weather I've ever been in by far. We are on the upswing now. We're getting some warmer weather here in the later part of this week, so I'm ready for the snow to be gone and for the sun to return. But nonetheless, it's been kind of a slow week for me, and I've just been enjoying resting and doing some things around the house. One thing I want to do as I start off this video is talk about the misconception that others have of resellers. I've gotten quite a few comments lately at my videos about people saying that I'm basically stealing from the poor by going to Goodwill shopping and then buying that stuff to resell online. And they claim if I'm going to Goodwills and other thrift stores to buy stuff to flip online to profit myself, then I'm basically taking the things that the poor could use, therefore limiting what they get and possibly taking from the poor. Let me just start off by addressing this because this could not be further from the truth. In theory, we in America have a lot of stuff, a lot, more than anyone else in the world. We don't have a problem with the amount of supply that we have here in America. Consumerism, materialism is a huge thing. As someone who is in and out of thrift stores on a weekly basis, I can tell you firsthand that Goodwill and other thrift stores are not suffering from a lack of supply. I'm not in there snatching up the whole store. I'm not taking the majority of the items they have. And I would say that every week Goodwill pulls off shirts and other items from their racks and donates them or gets rid of them or sends them to be recycled, what have you. Some of you may not know the Goodwill outlet strategy, and it's the last stop for Goodwill stores. Most often they get pulled out of the store and sent to the Goodwill outlets, where there it's the last ditch effort to get as much money as they can for those items before they do away with them. So you go to the Goodwill outlets, or also called the Goodwill bins, and you'll see these huge, massive bins of items, mounds of clothes, mounds of hard goods, mounds of electronics that you can buy per pound. And these are in select cities and towns across America. Whatever is left from there then either gets thrown away, recycled, donated. I honestly don't know what they do with it. But if you've ever been to a Goodwill bin, you know there's tons of stuff that gets left behind. So when someone like myself goes into a Goodwill once a week and purchases, let's say 20 to 30 items out of the thousands that they have in the store, I am nowhere coming close to stealing from the poor. I am nowhere coming close from taking everything or even the majority of the items in the store. Sometimes I think it's easy for us as a society to criticize others when they're in a different position. And unfortunately, no matter what you do in life, if you succeed, there's always going to be someone around to try and bring you down, to complain about the things that you're doing, or just to critique exactly how you're doing things. Anyways, enough about that. I personally am not stealing from the poor. Furthermore, my wife and I make it a point to give to our church and to give to other local people in the community and organizations on a monthly basis to help those who may be in need. All right, well, let's go ahead and get into this video's content, which is about the 20 items that sold for me for good profit. And let me just add that if you're not following my channel, please go ahead and subscribe if you'd like to get more videos like this. I've made it a point to give away the information that I'm learning so that you can learn from my mistakes as well as learn from the things that I've succeeded in. So thank you for watching, and let's get into it. All right, well, I've got my sidekick Nori here, and she's going to hang with me today while I show you the 20 items that sold for me for good money. Let me just start off before I even do anything by pointing out that I recently changed my store name. I'm no longer in the Mile High City, so therefore Mile High City Outfitters seemed a little dated. We moved to Arkansas, and I've changed my name to Ozark Mountain Goods. That's my handle, and my store is called the same. All right, well, let's start off with number one, this Bonobos. These Bonobos jeans sold this morning for a full price of $35.83, including shipping. If you're new to this brand, here is the tag. Now, I don't usually pick up the shirts. I'm usually picking up pants and jeans from this brand, and you can usually find on the waist, somewhere on the inside, whether it's slim, straight, whatever it is, bootleg. But there it is. These were slim. As you can see, excellent condition on these guys. They were even heavily starched, which I put in the description. I guess nothing else to say on this one. $35.83 sale price. I profited around $20 once you subtract out fees and cost of goods sold. Next up, this just went this morning, shipped it out. This was a part of 3 different listings. As you can see here, this set of 6, 3 dinner plates, 3 salad plates. I picked up about 16 pieces total. I had 4 mugs, I had these 6 pieces, and then I sold, I believe, 7 or 8 different salad plates. In all, I picked up the whole lot for under $20, and I've been selling them off here and there as 3 different listings. So this was the last to go, and I got $60 total with shipping on this on a best offer. Sold the mugs last week for about $30, and I sold the first listing for around $60 as well. I've found that these dinner sets do really well lately. If you've been watching my channel, you've seen that I've been picking up quite a bit of these. The brand on this was Faltzgraff, and there's the back of one of the plates, and that Sedona is actually what the design is. So Faltzgraff is the brand, Sedona is the pattern, which it's very colorful. You can see that little speckled look. $60 for 6 plates, obviously $10 a plate, when I paid probably $20 for 16 pieces. Next up, this went for full price as well, $40.23. This Nicholas heavy split cowhide tool belt with pouches. It was in excellent condition, and it's going to Alaska. $40 on this item that I paid, I believe, $7 for at Goodwill 3 to 4 weeks ago. I shipped it out in a padded flat rate envelope, made about $25 profit when you subtract out fees. I'm always looking for new items like this, items new to me, I should say, and there's the brand right there in the front, but items that are different than clothing that I can branch out and find as well. So that was a great find. This next item, actually, I sold 3 shirts to the same buyer. This was one of 3, but I had 2 of these Woolrich shirts. They were the same size, same design. They were just a different color. Buyer made an offer for $25 all in, and this one went. So glad to get rid of this cotton flannel shirt since it is the middle of February. At least where I am, we're going to be out of winter and into spring within the next month. So glad to see that one go. Here is a vintage piece, this vintage Lacoste Live polo shirt, and it says Lacoste Live right there on the tag. You can see the alligator patch on the front, but check out the pattern on this. This is a tennis themed shirt that I have not seen before. I don't normally pick up Lacoste, even though I've made money on the brand, but I'll look for unique things with certain brands, and this was a unique piece. I've never seen Lacoste Live before, and it just had that same print all over the back and front of the shirt. I took a best offer for $35 with shipping on this, and I only paid $4. My profit would have ended up being around $20 to $22. I threw this in because there's always a Cowboys fan somewhere, right? America's team. I'm not necessarily a Cowboys fan, but this rugby shirt I paid $4 for, and this is definitely the style, the rugby, that goes for pretty good money. It was a Cowboys branded shirt. It's embroidered there on the front. Great condition. The collar was a little wrinkled, but still not a big deal. And I ended up getting $32 all in on this with shipping. But these rugby shirts are in right now, especially if they're vintage, not necessarily on the sports teams as much as like a vintage polo, but this was a great find. Glad to get that one out. Here's a brand you've seen me pick up in recent videos. The brand is Timbuk2, looks like that. And Timbuk2 is a company that makes bags. They make bags of all kinds, usually like commuter bags for people who commute to work, whether it's in a city or on bike or whatever. And this bag was waterproof. I've come across bags like this. I've actually sold one last week as well, but this one you can see by the inside there that was a waterproof liner. And then it even had some really cool padding on the inside of the bag. So, I mean, all around, this was just a really nice bag. It was huge, one of their larger sizes. I actually ended up taking a best offer on this guy with shipping for a total of $45. I ended up paying $4 for this, so that was a great flip, 4 into 45. I love these Timbuk2 bags. I'll pick it up almost anytime I see it. I'll show you a few of the picture angles that I would usually give on a bag like this. So I've got the front and back. You can see I've got the front there with the flap open just so people can see what the inside looks like. They can see if there are pockets and stuff under the flap. Here's the inside of the main compartment. And then it came with this little, for lack of better words, doodad, this little guy that I guess comes out is a detachable pencil or pen holder. And then, of course, here's a shot of the side showing sometimes it will have like a water bottle holder, something that people would want to see, or an extra pocket. So I always take pictures of the sides. Great flip there. Look for Timbuk2. I featured this on a video recently, these Polo or Ralph Lauren Hawaiian shirts, and this was a big 3X, 3XB, and you know there by the tag, you can see the 3XB. This is different than 3XL, so when you're looking for shirts like this and you see the B, it's kind of like finding a shirt that's large, tall. The 3XB just makes it a little more rare, which means you can get a little more money. So I had this up for $45 all in. Buyer made an offer for $35 and I took it. This was a great find. I paid $8 for this shirt, so ended up profiting about $15 to $20 just on this shirt alone. I've got another blue Hawaiian Ralph Lauren that was probably donated by the same buyer, same size, that I picked up on the same day. So that one's still in the store waiting to be sold. And I've said it before in this video, but I'll say it again. There's a reason why I pick up these unique pieces. Notice that Ralph Lauren was very unique. And it was also not just the color pattern, but it was also a larger size. So those were two great things I had going for me there. And so I knew that it wouldn't take that long to sell since we are warming up, coming out of the tail end of winter. People are starting to buy short sleeves and shorts and swimsuits and things like that. And especially people who are in California and Florida, it's still warm for them there. And they're almost always buying short sleeve stuff year round. All right, these Eddie Bauer snow boots. Speaking of moving out of winter, glad to get these gone. I got a best offer of, I believe, $50. That's what it was. $50 with shipping, and I would take it on this brand just because these are big, clunky boots taking up space, and they're gone. So I don't have to hold on to these until next winter. $50 on these. I paid $11 for, I believe, this past summer when I got here to Arkansas. Love that sale. 11 into 50 would have profited me about $25 to $30 profit on these boots. It did have the foffer on the inside. There's a picture of it. Although I didn't list that in the title, I guess there it is. So people love that. This always brings in a little more money if you can find that insulation there. Sorel's another great brand to be on the lookout for when you're looking for like heavy winter boots. All right, guys, on this next piece, we're going back to the 90s. This is a throwback piece that I'm sure a lot of our parents, our moms, or our grandmothers had. Maybe you had an aunt that had a piece like this in her kitchen. And this was one of those pieces that was still new. It was sealed, still even had the tag there on it. The person that would have been buying this was buying this more for decor, not necessarily to use, especially since it is that old. But I was skeptical at first when I picked them up, but for $10 all in, I picked up 3. And there were a few comps that sold really well. And finally, this one sold within about 6 weeks of listing it for $40 total. So I ended up profiting about $20 on this one. I made $40 total on this, and I've already covered the $10 that I spent on all 3 of these and still have 2 left in my store for about that same price point. So be on the lookout for these guys. This wasn't even a specific brand. I didn't have a brand to put in there. I just put garlic and chili vinegar and it worked. But I noticed the keyword home decor glass bottle. That was something that I wanted to make sure to get in the title. I picked this up about a year and a half to 2 years ago. This was brand new in the package when I got it. I got this to use around Denver just to have a GPS, and I only used it once. So I listed this as used one time, and I knew that because it was mine. I actually used it one time. But I took a best offer on this of $15 plus the 8 shipping on an item where this was several years old. It definitely worked. It was great condition, but some of the maps may have been outdated, and this unit in particular was a smaller one. So, but yeah, got rid of it, went first class, and didn't profit much on this, but I got definitely the money that I made. I definitely got the money back that I spent to get this initially. All right, I picked these up, and within a few days of listing, they sold for a best offer of, I believe, $23. Actually, just under 24, $23.90. These were Polo Ralph Lauren swim shorts, and they even had a mark on the back. See if you can see it right there. But they had the Polo horse on the front, down at the bottom, and then they had the Polo logo on the other side of the shorts. So when you've got something like that, you definitely want to capture that in photos just to let the person know, even if it's not Polo, depending on the brand, especially if they're outdoor brands, people want to see the spell outs, they want to see the logos, they want to see the brand. So I took a couple of pictures to show that, but this was a great color. When you get these large stripes, especially in Polo, I knew this would go well. I knew this would go fast, and it was men's medium, which is a smaller size, but still $24 for this, and I paid $4 for these shorts. Check out this unique piece, guys. I picked this up for just over $1 at Goodwill. This 32-ounce Aladdin Texaco travel mug. You can see the Aladdin on the bottom and the Aladdin on the top there with the lid. It was insulated. This was like a large coffee. I mean, I guess you could put soda in there as well or something else. Or Coke, depending on what part of the country you're from, or pop, maybe even. But regardless of what you pronounce that as, or what you call that, this still went for really good money. I got $22 on this within a week of listing it. These vintage Aladdin travel mugs are for real. I sold a vintage McDonald's Aladdin mug that was a lot smaller. It was like a 12 ounce. It was one of those mugs that you'd buy at McDonald's and you got free refills on coffee, or you got, not free refills, but like heavily discounted coffee when you took that into McDonald's back in the 90s. So these things I'm always looking for, and $1 into 22 within a week of listing it probably profited me about 10 to 12 bucks on this guy right here. But I'll take it. That's a great flip. It was lightweight, went first class. Great logo on that as well. Here's an item that I've kind of drifted away from. I don't look for these anymore. I thought just because they were Jordans that they would go really well and fast, but that was not the case. These are boys youth Jordans. I've got a couple others in my store, hence why I'm not picking these up anymore. I did get $27, and I probably didn't make much on these. I probably paid $6 to $10. To go ahead and move those for $27 all in was great. Even had some like pink, I don't know if that was like a crayon or gum or something. I tried to clean it up as best I could, but that's as best as I could do. But still, $27. I just won't pick those up anymore. They do sit for a long time. Now, if I came across a pair of men's Jordans, I may pick those up. But for kids and even boys and youth, just leaving them behind. All right, this next brand I love, and specifically if I find men's jeans, the 7 for All Mankind. There's the logo on the inside, and you can see the Slimmy is the model. So these are a slim fit jean, and usually they'll have like some extravagant like design on the pocket, but these are just plain dark wash blue jeans, and they actually went for full price. So I got $47.83 on these jeans that I would have paid about $6 for at Goodwill. That's a great flip. You can see even on the bottom there, I always check the back of the legs to see if there's a lot of fraying or if they've been cut, and these were in pretty good condition there. So be on the lookout for 7 for All Mankind, specifically men's. And I always take a picture of the content tag just to show, because people want to see if there's any stretch to the pants or if they're 100% cotton. All right, I've picked this up, and this is another item that sold really fast for a great amount of money. I got $40 all in on this. Nope, sorry about that. I got $37 on a best offer, including shipping. I would have gotten more, except Goodwill had a tag in here that went through the back of the neck and left a hole. You can see 2 very small pen-sized holes there. But this shirt was new with tags, and this brand, I swear by, Robert Graham. You can see I've mentioned this, but the cuff there is called a flip cuff because you flip it over and it's got some kind of distinct pattern. Usually the ones with like the paisley patterns are the ones that go for more money. But still, any shirt in general that has that flip pattern, and you can see the RG embroidered on the sleeve right there, right above the cuff, I always take a picture of those to make sure the person sees it. And then usually that the front and back picture will have the cuffs flipped as well. So brand new Robert Graham, got $37 for it. I paid $8 for this. I paid up a little bit, but I knew it'd go for, even with that flaw, I knew it'd go for good money. Without that pen-sized hole on the back, I would have gotten $50 to $70 for this shirt. That's okay though. I'm glad to get $37 with the flaw. I'll take it. Here's an item that I found outside of the clothing section. You can see here these 2 Philips dimmable floodlights. These were huge bulbs, brand new in the box. Sold them as a lot. I paid $3 to $4 a piece for these, so less than $10. And these actually went pretty quick for how long I had them, for full price of $57.83. I was only on these for about a week, and then they sold. So I shipped them out and made really good money. So about $8 into $57 would have profited me about $40 total for these 2 bulbs. So I'm always looking for different things, and this was a great item here. You can see I've got the front and the back, and then I've got close-ups of all the specs so that I don't have to explain this in the description. As long as I've got the photos, that should answer any questions that the buyer may have. Take a look at these pieces right here. I had these in a video about 2 weeks ago, these Sting WCW New World Order Collectors Limited Edition plates. I picked up all 3 of these at Goodwill for about $10 total. And even on the back, they had a limited plate number on each one of these. And I took a picture of each of the plates showing that number, as well as each of the plates on the front. You can see like a little gold rim. I mean, these were just beautiful collector's pieces that I knew when I found them, I would sell them as a lot. I thought they may sit longer. Actually, they went relatively quickly compared to how long I usually have plates and even collector's plates. I was quite shocked at how quickly they went. So for my $10 expense at Goodwill, I got $65 for these 3 plates. Very happy with this sale, and the buyer's already left positive feedback, so I don't have to worry about a return. I always get nervous when I'm shipping out something breakable like this, that something may happen to it and I may have to provide some customer service either for a broken item or possibly a return. But great feedback already, so these won't come back to me. Here's an item I picked up. I spent $8 on this, and in theory, I probably wouldn't do this that often. Of course, I'm glad I did it here because this sold within a few days of listing it. It was Ralph Lauren, brand new with tags, and this pattern, I didn't know it in the store, but looked it up, and it's an equestrian pattern, which you can see I've listed here in the title. And it ended up going for $24 plus $5, so $29 all in. Didn't make a lot of profit since I spent $8 to get this shirt, and I typically wouldn't advise someone to pay $8 to make $29. That profit would have only been about $10 for me, but lesson learned. I'm glad that it sold. Thought I could get more, like $35 to $40 for this guy. Maybe if I had held out a little longer, I could have, but still made profit on it, and it's gone. Look at this vintage hat. This vintage Air Force hat was awesome. I paid $1 or $2 for it. It even had a rip on the front side there, which you can see I've listed in the condition, small rip where mesh meets the front. This style hat, if you're curious, is a trucker hat. Most people probably know that, but just in case you don't, the trucker has the like the solid front with the mesh back, and I always list that trucker hat in there if it is a trucker hat or a vintage piece like this, because people are looking for vintage hats just like this one. And it had that awesome Air Force patch on the front. I ended up getting a total of $23 on this within a day of listing it. So $2 into 23, probably profited about 12 bucks. I do have a video in my channel about how to ship out hats. So if you're looking for a way to ship this out first class that will somewhat protect it, then go back into my channel and take a look at that. It's one of the older videos down at the bottom, and it's not very long either, but it does show you exactly how I ship out hats so that I'm only paying like $3.50 as opposed to $6 or $7 priority mail. All right, well, those were 20 of the items that I sold in the last few weeks for great profit. Hopefully you found some in there that you can find at your next thrift run. Before I end this video, I want to make sure to tell you about a couple things that I do on a weekly basis. On Monday mornings, I've been doing this shipping live video where I basically just ship out my weekend orders, I answer questions, and I connect with you. You can come and watch and hang out, you can ask questions, you can just watch as I ship. Whatever it is, you can come and join me on that. So I go live on my YouTube channel around 10 a.m., somewhere in there, and I'm usually live for an hour or two as I ship out all the orders that I sold over the weekend. It's great for new resellers who may be trying to understand how to ship things, but also because I show you the items that sold, I show you exactly what I got for it, and I explain what to look for when sourcing those items. So you're not only getting shipping tips and information, but you're also getting BOLOs. You're getting be on the lookout brands that you can find at the thrift store and profit off of as well. And second, my friend Chris and I have a live show that we do every Thursday night at 8 Eastern, 7 Central, and it's called Two Flippin' Dudes. We have a lot of fun. We talk about reselling, we connect with the reseller community, and we play a fun game. Usually we'll touch on some interesting topics that are kind of hot topics or maybe things to look out for that are selling or categories that you can flip yourself. So come join us 8 Eastern, 7 Central if you'd like. It's also on my YouTube channel as well. Two Flippin' Dudes every Thursday, 8 Eastern, 7 Central. Well, that's going to do it on today's video. Thanks so much for tuning in. Until next time, on the next video, we'll catch you later.